Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. I discovered some more info after my wife's timeline of her affair with her co-worker advice. Hi, everyone. First off, thanks to everyone who reached out and provided advice or support, everything is appreciated. Here's an update. Since my read her timeline, there hasn't been a moment, it hasn't been heavily weighing on me, and I still haven't slept well. I've read the timeline at least once every day, and with every reread I experience a variety of emotions: sadness, hurt, anger, and embarrassment. Sometimes I can't even form how I'm feeling into words. I don't think that she was lying/doctoring it up, everything does match with what OBS showed me. I think the timeline was impactful for her. The affair is the affair, but I do believe that AP preyed on her. I'm angry I was unaware of it, and didn't protect her. When we were 17, there was this bad incident with her mom, and she came over to my house, and I held her in my arms and I promised I would always protect her no matter what. And I feel like I failed with AP. I didn't see his motives. I only took her word. On Friday night, I texted OBS to see if we could talk. I wanted her input, and to see how her/the twins were doing. She called, she had just put her kids to bed, and said how rough it's been on the kids, and that she's just been trying to focus on them. She said that it's going to be a bitter divorce. AP's acting like the wronged party and puffed up with himself. He hasn't apologized or anything. He's living at an extended stay. She changed the locks, so he couldn't come and go. I asked about AP's history, past cheating/abuse of power. She knew where I was getting at. She has suspicions of past infidelities over the years, that a woman always knew, but she never had proof he couldn't deny. She believes he grew overconfident/sloppy with my WW. There was one allegation 5 years ago at AP's previous job. A co-worker reported him to HR for retaliating against her after she refused an advance, but nothing came of it. She was viewed as a difficult employee who was frequently late and dismissed as bitter after AP wrote her up. OBS she ignored the warning signs because she was pregnant. There wasn't another allegation and he had a great reputation. The info took me a minute to process. I did ask if AP gave her a timeline. She said she didn't care for one because she just wants a divorce. She asked if I had made a decision yet with my WW, and I told her that I hadn't. She suggested her attorney when I was ready or just for a consultation. I took the info, and thanked her. We talked for a little bit about life post D-Day, before hanging up. I felt more anger toward AP. I do believe he set his sights on WW, but she still had an EA which only grew, and I just feel so deeply hurt, lost, and betrayed. I really hate all of this. Yesterday, I still couldn't get what OBS said off my mind. My sil called me, and the tone of her voice was troubling. She was worried about my WW, that she didn't believe she was doing well, and had not been eating. She asked if I had talked to her at all, but I hadn't since Thursday. So far, my WW has been respecting me, asking for some space. This did not please me to hear in the slightest. I hated the idea of my WW being in this way, and every day with North Carolina or not seeing her has been extremely hard for me. She asked if I could try talking with her, but she didn't have to because I had already decided on going to see her. On the way over, I stopped at this local restaurant my WW loves, and ordered her usual meal to go, and then I went straight to our home without prior warning. Admittedly, a part of me wondered if I might find AP there this time around, but again, his car wasn't around. I entered the house, and my WW was lying on the couch. The TV was on, but she wasn't watching it. She looked like she was going through hell. Conflicting emotions hit me. 1. Some choices of hers brought this on, and 2. I wanted to comfort her, and promise her that everything would be okay. She sat up, surprised to see me. She moved to get up, I assume, to hug me, but she stopped herself. I showed her the food, and told her that I needed her to eat something. This caught her off guard and she said that I didn't have to do this, but I said I wanted to. I helped her get settled at the table, got her something to drink, and she started eating her meal. I asked if she heard from AP or if he's been to the house, and she said no. I asked if I could see her phone. Without any hesitation, she handed it over to me. While she ate, I spent some time searching her phone. There weren't any new convos with AP, and his number was still blocked. I waited until she was finished eating before I said anything that could distract her. I mentioned that her sister had called, and this threw her off. She promised that she didn't ask her to do that and she's been trying to respect my space request, but I said that it was okay, and that I wasn't bothered by the call. She said I shouldn't have to rush home to take care of her, but I said our vows say otherwise, and they still matter to me. She starts tearing up, and says that she ruined us, that she ruined me, and me/our relationship was the very best part of her life, and meant everything to her. She said that she's angry with herself, disappointed in herself, that I only ever loved and trusted her, but she hurt and betrayed me in the way that would tear me apart the most, and she'll never forgive herself. At this point, I don't know what happened, but her words had hit me deeply, and I just broke down. She kept saying that she didn't deserve me, and she just kept tearing herself to shreds. The last thing she said was that I must regret being with her. For the first time since D-Day, I cut in and said that my whole life has been wrecked, but she knew that I don't regret her. I listed how many times she saved me, and that I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her. I reminded her about the day we first met at the neighborhood playground when we were 5, or how at 13 when I admitted my feelings for her, and the entire time I was nervously stumbling over my words, and she held my hand to reassure me. Even then I knew I wanted to be by her side. How, when I proposed and she said yes, I was beyond excited for us to start our lives together in that way. I never wanted to part from her, that she was it for me, and that never once changed before D-Day. We just cried without saying another word. I tried to gather myself, then told her that I needed to go. As I was leaving, she thanked me for coming over, then said that she understands my need for space, and she'll accept whatever consequences come her way, but that she's not giving up on us, and that she's going to start looking into IC. I only nodded. I have my first IC scheduled for Monday. But I feel like I'm nowhere closer to knowing how to proceed, nor do I feel any less lost. Every emotion you could possibly imagine is just wrecking me, and I feel like I'm trapped in a maze. I would appreciate any advice. I think your whirlwind of emotions are completely understandable. This has been an incredibly jarring experience. You need to offer yourself some grace. You are going to be lost and bouncing between emotions for quite some time. The individual counseling is a huge positive for you. You do need help working your way through these feelings before you can heal, or before you have the confidence to make the important decisions moving forward. I do want to ask you to stop trying to make yourself responsible. You agreed to protect her, but you can't protect from what you don't know. Not only did you not know this, she actively hid it from you. She hurt herself, and was a very active participant in it. It is obvious from the outside where your mind is taking you. If you are heading down the path of trying to work things out with her, I would strongly encourage you to not rush into any decisions. Especially getting back together with her. If she is serious about doing anything to save your marriage, she will allow you all the time you need to process everything. Be well, Op. 100%. A husband protects their partner when they see the danger on its way or his spouse asks him for help. She didn't. She wanted the affair to happen the moment she invested in the EA. Can't protect her from herself. She was, as far as we can tell, the only woman who didn't stop her AP's advances. You and your wife had some good times, but she isn't a child. She isn't a digital device that a game player pushed buttons on and she performed as the buttons directed. She considered, planned and lied like any other adult. Your intentions are noble, my dude, but highly misplaced. You feel lost because you're conflicted. Your mind is telling you to leave her, but your heart is telling you to reconsider. Your empathy to the attachment to the person your wife was is compromising your own heart and how to protect it. I get it. That attachment to her and to protect her despite what she did holds on to you due to your long history together. Not only do you feel like her husband, but her guardian too. I once shared those ideals with my ex. She and I weren't married, almost proposed to her on D-Day, but we grew up together. We knew everything about each other since we were kids and I would have done anything for her. And she knew this. She knew all of this and still went out of way to cheat on me. She could have talked it out with me or simply ignored the guy's advances. She had other options. But she chose the easiest one. And that realization is what kept me from running back to her. To play her guardian. I knew I had to choose where to go from there. To choose her and live with rebuilding trust that I never broke, a new life made from the stains of infidelity, or to set myself free to start over a new chapter in my life and break away from years of us growing up together, sharing joys and pains that no one else would be able to understand. I chose the latter. I chose me. I say this to you due to the facts that you're still raw and vulnerable to her because you still want to save her, thinking it's what you meant to do. That somehow it will give you back what was taken from you. But it won't. I say that because she knows you. She went through every notion of choosing not to break your heart, knowing what it would cost. And she still did it. You didn't push her to her AP. You didn't hold her hand or drive her to meet AP. She did this. If you chose reconciliation, understand this. Eggshells will be your daily life. Choosing to stay in a broken marriage is like choosing which minefield to walk across. No matter what you do and where you step, there's always a chance you're going to step in the wrong direction and lose more pieces to yourself. She's not a child op. She knew what was at risk. You can't take the blame for her misdeeds. You're the victim, not her. There's only one person here that needs saving. And it's not her. But I won't make any decisions for you. You have to choose what you want going forward. And what you can live with. Just know whatever you decide, it's something you can live with. You decide. Not your WW. Not your SIL. You. Good luck. Best reply. Beautifully said. Sigh. We have given you every advice there is to give. It's up to you now. Best of luck. I'm truly sorry that you're going through this, but your wife wasn't preyed upon, she was a willing participant. Op is lucky she is making it look like it was AP's fault. I feel bad for those where the psycho cheaters blame their partners for cheating, embarrassed smiley face. Only you can decide if you want to save your marriage. I would suggest you look at her actions. Is she showing true remorse for hurting you or remorse for being caught? Honestly, since the timeline from what she said sounds like true remorse. Lots of people push for divorce, but we don't know you and the life you built with her. People can truly change and save their relationships. The odds are tough but can happen. I feel you did the right thing by stepping back and staying with your mother. Whatever you do, I wish you the best. Why get back with a cheater when there are countless kind and non-evil people in the world who you could have a relationship with? I guess to each their own. Some people just can't stay away from all things toxic for them. I think the timeline was impactful for her. The affair is the affair, but I do believe that AP preyed on her. I'm angry I was unaware of it, and didn't protect her. When we were 17, there was this bad incident with her mom, and she came over to my house, and I held her in my arms and I promised I would always protect her no matter what. And I feel like I failed with AP. I didn't see his motives. I only took her word. How exactly were you supposed to protect her from AP? Go with her to work every day and babysit her all day? Come on, she's an adult and you had no way of knowing that she was feeding you a bunch of BS the whole time? Most women with a half a brain know that all boys want to get in their pants. Therefore they must be honest with their partner and not be all flirty at work. She developed feelings for him and that led her to be the past one left with him at the bar. Later she followed him willingly to his hotel room. What did she think was going to happen? You're just all mushy right now with your emotions because you two go way back. Even let's say that she is innocent in all of this and he preyed on her. Predators usually prey on weak individuals. They smell the weakness in them from a mile away, and they usually predict successfully with whom they'll succeed to seduce. That doesn't speak much about your wife. What happens if in the future finds another job who looks out for her and helps her along the way? Gets her a promotion? She will most likely succumb again to his advances. Don't focus on the past. Focus on the future and try to figure out if she can be a safe partner, because considering now the odds are stacked against her being that safe partner. Her betrayal is that much worse because of your past, and she even became part of the family with your mother also helping her. She threw that away because of some scumbag. Didn't she know that he was married and this would wreck their family? She's a home wrecker. If she had any moral integrity she wouldn't have gone to the hotel room, but instead refused to go because she was thinking about him and his family, and most importantly her husband, who she knew and loved since the age of 5. She's broken inside and she needs to focus on banishing her internal demons and work on herself and figure out what made her so easily subject to predation. She needs to be a nicey, and so do you, whether or not you stay married. There is nothing you can do to protect her aside from putting her in a locked cell at the moment. Whatever you decide, I just wanted to give you food for thought. Best of luck to you. Buddy, good on you for taking your time. I suspect the polygraph is off the table. But it's up to you. Now let's look at your situation. Your wife chucked a hand grenade into her marriage. After it went off and blew up all, she looked at the carnage she caused. And that's it. That's all she done. That and the fact that she played with fire. This is your choice and your life. But believe me, you still have so many phases of grief to process. As every good man wants to do. You are protective of your home and loved ones. But do not do this. Do not make a villain of her AP. There was no way you could have known, nor could you have protected her. Her choices she made her susceptible to her AP. He is a bad man. But had she honored her vows and reported him the way the previous employee he wrote up and had fired at his other job had acted after reporting him to HR, you would not be here. She stood before you and promised love and fidelity. She also made a choice with each message sent in her emotional affair and every drink she had. With going to his room. With undoing her clothes. With stripping and receiving him in her, she betrayed you. Her AP is bad. But she was the person that carried the fuel that lit this fire. If you believe anything else, you are lying to yourself. I would suggest you give it more time. If she wants to make amends, she will have to stop lying on the couch and start working on her marriage. She should have had a marriage plan set up. Individual counseling arranged. But no, she lying around saying she is sorry. When confronted with trauma, humans react with shock. Then denial, where you are, then pain and suffering that's followed by anger and rage. Do not commit to any path now. Your hurt and later rage stage will come. I know you love her. And I can guarantee you the two sisters worked this phone call to you for the effect they wanted. Today you spoiled your cheater with food from her favorite restaurant. You told her in no uncertain terms. No matter how bad she acts, you will stick by her. She abused you and you're blaming her abuse without the faculty of IC and professional help. Go for a couple of IC sessions first. Your love for her will weather the time apart. When you came into the house, you asked for her phone. You checked it. This is your new life. Are you going to check her devices every day? Maybe drive to her job to read her email. You want to protect her. She did not tell you of her affair, so you will have to check up. That's life with her. If she gets pregnant, you will always have that little niggle thinking, is this my kid? Is that a life? No, it's not. You're giving too much too fast. Give yourself more time. If she is so remorseful, why has she done nothing but laying around? Get in counseling. Give yourself more time. Baby steps. If she has real remorse, she will be there forever. Do not fool yourself. Only you will pay the price. Heed people's warning. Tread light. Take your time. It seems you're always taking care of her while she's out burning bridges. Lying around when the dust settles. You're coming up on 2 weeks already making statements confirming your intentions to stay. She has just said sorry. But has done nothing to start working on her. We've heard all this BS before. You are in the wrong sub. Find the ones where people think they can fix their lying and cheating partner. You need to get kicked in the face a few more times by her to clear out the alternative reality her gaslighting has driven you to. Good luck. You will need it. I understand you are overflowing with emotions but we all reading this without any emotions. So our judgment will be different from yours. We still are very very sure that WW will cheat again. So if you want to take that risk, go ahead. I agree 100%. We all have been here. The wayward apologizing, you don't deserve me, I always loved you, would never hurt you etc. Well, those are just words. Your actions tell a different story. If you stay there will not be one day that this betrayal does not enter your mind. And when she heads to work or to shop the thought of what is really going on will always be there. Like a great friend who betrayed you. You end it and move on. The risk is his to take. None of us have had his experiences with the WW. There are times when I read an op or post and literally scream leave that person now and don't look back, but there are other situations where the dynamics are complex enough that I side with the BS taking a risk on reconciling with the WS. How are you very sure of that? Wow, that was a read. The takeaway. Stop going over there, she made her bed, let her lay in it. Oh, and the AP didn't take advantage of her. He tried to get some and she let him. Stop torturing yourself. You mean everything to me, then why did she duck her boss? She is having a breakdown because she was caught this time and it has ruined her using you while she sport ducks other people. Adultery is just plain malevolence. Let me remind you, if AP's wife didn't make a scene she would still be having an affair with the creep. I'm not certain that is the case. She left the room. She skipped the meeting the next morning. She left the trip early to come home. On Monday before OBS even showed up, she told AP that it was a mistake and to leave it in the past. She may have never told OP without the OBS causing a scene, but I don't think you can say unequivocally that the affair would have continued. Hard to say for sure, but I would say the chances are actually pretty high, maybe not right away, but as long as they continued to work together and interact, Teresa, high probability. Everybody keeps believing her story, but she's proven herself a liar from day one. She even lied and said she had no contact after having sex with this guy, then later said she had interacted with him the next day, and you can bet they had an in-depth discussion about what happened before she left. She lied all weekend and lied when she was caught, so why is her end story now so believable? The story that will make or break her relationship? Do people think a proven liar won't lie to save that? Doing that comes right out of chapter 1 of the Cheater's Handbook. What she's feeling now is first-time regret, but in reality she didn't shut anything down and planned to keep right on with her side piece like nothing happened. But it doesn't work like that. She was even caught by this guy's wife Monday morning hanging on his side again in his office, more than likely playfully carrying on as usual. That first-time regret will blow over with time and interaction with her new side piece. Eventually the regret will fade and disappear and the playfulness between them will start back up, then the flirting will start again and progress, and before long they're right back in another hotel room. The second time is easier they say, and after that it would probably continue until who knows when, whenever and wherever they can get away with it. People are forgetting that she had a half-a-year-long relationship with this guy and has romantic feelings for him, or she wouldn't have planned and carried out ducking him in his hotel room at all. She wouldn't have just walk away from that if she hadn't been caught, especially if she was still working with him and interacting with him every day. It would only have been a matter of time. Do just move on to another relationship. Why torture yourself with this pain which you know you'll never forget? I've seen countless posts of people regretting reconciliation after so many years. Just work on yourself. She cheated and made a hell of a lot of choices to put herself in that position. Just move on. I get where you're coming from. But, Op and his wife have been together for 20 years. In some relationships, it's more than just the sunk cost. The emotion can be overwhelming. The abandonment Nine feels is much different than if it was 2 or 3 years. I think Op is doing the right thing. Take your time. Get IC, and the same for your wife. When you're ready, make your decision. It has to be right for you. Good luck. I completely agree with you. The way that Op is going about things is highly commendable and shows both toughness and compassion on his part. He may in the end choose divorce, but he has to get there on his own timeline, using his own life experiences. He should not let outsiders influence that process. This is the correct reply. I'm not an expert. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist or anything resembling one. I'm just a young man with limited life experience to offer, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. I can't have you cursing my username 5 years from now if anything I say ends up ruining your life, lol. That being said, to me it sounds like something I've seen in a lot of friends, peers relationships where they've essentially been together since high school. I do believe it's common for a certain level of curiosity to creep up when you've essentially only had SO, and that curiosity can oftentimes lead to discussions about open relationships, or it can sometimes lead to affairs. In many cases, I've learned that the open relationship experiment results in the mutual realization that they don't need sex from other people anymore. I think a certain level of closure is afforded through that process. I'm wondering if you might ask your SO about that. If she did feel that curiosity, and if she has experienced closure in that department. Of course if she did, she'll say she will never do it again, but maybe you can open the door on that conversation so that if those feelings creep up, she can share them with you openly and you can discuss it as adults sans an affair. Not sure if that's thought-provoking, helpful, or even in line with your views on morality, love, and relationships, but I figured it was a unique perspective that might help you process the situation. Your wife is a grown woman. She was not preyed upon. She had her affair because she wanted to. She knew what she was doing the entire time. She has no respect for you. She wasn't going to tell you anything. The affair would have continued if the guy's wife hadn't caught them. You really should end the marriage. Exactly this. Harden your resolve. Nothing good will come from becoming soft towards her now. Cheating is her nature. I am glad that you are taking your time with this. There may be hope for reconciliation here. However, your wife needs to dig deeply and figure out why she did what she did. If she indeed loves you like she says she does, then she never would have even entertained this person in that way. Something is missing here and I don't think you have the whole of the story. The "I couldn't protect my wife from AP" thing makes this post look like a joke. Is this a fake post? Sorry if it isn't. But, I actually laughed at that part. Yes, it's such a horrible excuse that it's funny. Again, if this is real, I am sorry, I understand your pain. The "protect my wife" remark is being taken out of context. I'm talking about I wished I could have protected someone I love from someone who on all accounts is a creep and uses his position at work as leverage over people. I've met people like him before, and from everything OBS showed me painted a clear picture of who AP actually is. I wasn't blaming myself for the affair. Friend, I understand your feeling, but there is one person you can never protect her from, herself. This was not a failure on your part but hers. She is the one who failed to make the safe decision to maintain her relationship at work professionally and not venture into an EA. What you need to decide is she capable of becoming a safe person, by herself? Is she capable of learning from her mistakes? Can she mature? Can she become less naive? Can she become a better communicator? Without the capacity for this change, she will not be a safe partner. I truly believe anyone can change, but the process is long and painful, filled with many trials and errors. Only you can tell if she can do this and if you have the patience to wait for this change to occur. I wish you well. Deacon. I'm sorry, Op, but this sounds like you're looking for an excuse to excuse her behavior, at least in part, by saying he pressured her. Maybe I missed something, but I don't see where your wife expressed anything like this to you prior to you deciding this. Did I miss that? The biggest concern here beyond the affair is that she confessed to you, but didn't use the time to actually come clean. She just lied to you again, and didn't confess until you had irrefutable proof from OBS. That's not a good sign at all. Some people understood what you meant. I have also met, mostly men since my field is male-dominated, people in authority use that power to take advantage of underlings. It was a disgusting process to have witnessed. I would caution you about the direction this thread is pointed. I've seen a lot of BHs take this rookie path. That is, viewing your WW as Little Red Riding Hood and the AP as the big bad wolf. Your description of your convo with the OBS is infused with a noticeable degree of confirmation bias. As I have said previously, I would urge you to ask the OBS to actually read the timeline and offer comment on it. From my perspective, I still trust what the OBS saw firsthand before your WW, in AP's office, obviously flirting. So far, that's the most objective bit of data in your possession. Your WW is an adult woman. She chose to accompany an adult man, a married co-worker, alone to his hotel room at night, after drinks, on a work trip. She chose this in secret, without telling you. There is only one reason an adult woman would make that choice, because she intended to have sex with the AP. To the extent the AP has a history of workplace indiscretion, it shows that he is on the prowl for married female co-workers who are inclined to cheat on their husbands. He apparently spotted this in your WW. That's exactly what I was thinking. He's a player and he spotted her a mile away. He knew she would cheat, that's why he pursued it like he did. He knew from the start that it was only a matter of time, and so did she. The fact that she came home and acted like nothing happened and was all happy as hell all weekend and even slept with up and then went right back to work Monday and carried on with her new side piece like nothing happened tells you all you need to know about what really happened and what kind of person she really is. She also claims she ended the affair, but she didn't end her interaction with her new side piece, nor do I doubt she even told him their affair was over, so after the first time regret wore off for her they would have been right back at it with her continuing to hide it behind Op's back and being perfect fine never saying a word while screwing this guy whenever they had a chance. She took a gamble with this guy in the hopes that it wouldn't be found out, but it was. And only now she's remorseful? Bullshit. This is a classic case of regret, not remorse. Whatever she may have been in the past, her actions dictate that she isn't that now at this stage in life. I would walk from this. Exactly. You're feeling sorry that you couldn't protect your wife from cheating on you? Starting to think these posts are fake. The protect my wife remark is being taken out of context. I'm talking about I wished I could have protected someone I love from someone who on all accounts is a creep and uses his position at work as leverage over people. I've met people like him before, and from everything OBS showed me painted a clear picture of who AP actually is. I wasn't blaming myself for the affair. Yeah, but remember, it takes two to horizontal tango. When she described him to you as one of the good guys and someone looking out for her in a self-professed boys club environment, she was in the pre-EA stages of hiding stuff from you, so there was nothing there for you to be concerned about, or much less a creep to protect her from. In the end, she fell for the charms of a womanizer who preyed on younger, more attractive females, and maybe she enjoyed the sex or not, who knows at this point, but she's definitely not kissing and telling, that's for sure. But this much is clear, she had roughly 1,000 decision points, go-no-go points if you will, where she could have said no, and ended things right there and then, but did she? Hell no. She said yes to every single one of them, and with such ducking enthusiasm. Thinking all the while she was going to score some strange dick and get a promotion, in other words, have her cake and eat it too. But the confrontation with OBS nipped that in the bud. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.